Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brownstone's Best Business Review. I'm Paulette. You are in the Brownstone Worldwide Studios. And today, for Brownstone's Best Business Review, we have a special guest that's going to be bringing us into Q4 for all of you amazing business owners out there. We want you to be inspired. We want you to be touched, but we're also going to be inspired by just the presence of this gentleman who is going to be joining us not only here in Brownstone Best Business Review, but also on the cover of Brownstone Living magazine, the one, the only owner and founder of the Zone of Genius, and also the host of the podcast of the same name on Black Enterprise and USA Today. We are bringing to you Ramon Ray of zoneofgenius.com. Welcome, sir, to the Brownstone once again. We're happy to have you.
Hey, Dr. Paulette. So good to be here today, and I'm excited. Thank you for seeing value that I had something to share with your audience. So thank you.
Yes, you do. And listen, we are honored to have you here, and we're excited to have you on the cover. Listen, there's so much that I want to talk to you about today. But let's start at the beginning, because I just said that you have Zone of Genius. You've got the podcast. You're on Black Enterprise. You're on USA Today. You're speaking. You're traveling, and you're encouraging so many people. Let's start at the beginning of the why. Why do that? Why? What's your why behind all of that?
I think I'd have to answer it three ways.
Okay.
One, I enjoy, as I'm learning and being more comfortable, being who I am. I just love doing it. Some people love numbers. They love going through a spreadsheet, looking at numbers. Maybe that's you, Dr. Paulette. I don't know. Some people love play and having that wheel spinning with soft jazz music behind them and crafting or molding. I have a friend of mine, her name is Pat. She loves making flower arrangements. That ain't me either. But in the part of edutainment, sharing, taking the mic, inspiring, motivating, causing a smile to come on someone's face through a little bit of humor, but just, and we'll unpack probably as we've talked offline more about what I do. And I don't even know fully what I do, but I enjoy it. So that's one. What's the why? Number two, it is a business. And sometimes we don't say that, like you hear whoever famous person, they say, well, I want to save children's lives. Well, the second reason I'm doing what I'm doing, it's a business. How I make money and work with brands and things of this nature. So that's number two. I think those are the two reasons. I was going to say a third one, but I think those are the really two. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is my business. Oh, and I do like to help people. So I guess that would be the third. The third one is that it's related to the first, but I enjoy knowing that Dr. Paulette's out there or Susie Q's out there. And whether I know it or not, that I help them with their day-to-day. And I'll share, I know we've got time, but I'll just share one example of that is that I was at the airport and I asked somebody next to me, where are you traveling? I say hi to everybody to my left or right. She came back and said, my day was sucky today. I was in a deep funk. And you just had a little bit of spark. I didn't mean to, Dr. Paulette. It's not me.
Yeah.
So I hope that was a long-winded, but that's the why is important. Yeah. And I think that's why I'll stop there and turn it back to you.
No, that's good. That's good. That's why we're here today, is to inspire, because I've seen you speak. I've heard your podcasts and watched you be interviewed by other folks. And I say to myself, my God, he is a walking ball of inspiration and encouragement wherever he goes. And so I want to dig deep here for just a moment as we are falling into Q4. We're already here. And this is a trying time for a lot of businesses, Ramon. Let's talk about that seriously.
Yeah.
Businesses are considering shuttering their doors. They're having to figure out how to pivot. They may not know how. And they're waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, not knowing how they're going to pay their staff or how they are going to get the inventory that's necessary to even get in the black for this final quarter of the year. And so I was hoping that we could touch on, what would you say to those folks who are looking for just a glimmer of hope that everything is going to be okay?
Wow. That's a great question. That is a huge,
Yeah.
big question. I think two things I'll say, and I was saying this to a young lady. I'll put it that way. I won't say who
Mhm.
she is to protect her
Yeah.
privacy in my family.
Mhm.
A young lady who was talking about moving and things she's doing and how maybe how sad she'd be and things of this nature at the outset of a new life she's building.
Yeah.
But me and my wife were saying part of it, not only Dr. Paulette, because if you burn yourself with drinking something, right? Or you
Yeah.
fall down, you skin your knee, you do hurt. We're human.
Yeah. Right.
But part of it is, do you have to stay there? So my
Mm.
point, what I'm trying to get at is that I wish I could say everything's going to be all right.
Mm.
But that really depends on how you feel it is. You
Come
see,
on.
so
Yeah.
during the pandemic, when all of our businesses shut down, metaphorically, there
Yeah.
were two types of businesses. Both of us lost our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us didn't get any money.
Mm-mm.
Both of us had to drive Uber. Both of us had to ask our mama for money. Both of us had to tell our kids Christmas is going to be different this year because daddy or mommy don't have the money. Both of us did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the one difference is you or I or the other were like, that's okay. We can make our own Scrabble game with paper in the dark. You get
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah.
woo-woo here in the head,
Mm-hmm.
but the storm, which is happening as we speak, the storm may happen to both of us.
Yeah.
But I may say, you know what? Tree fell down, wrecked my house, crashed
Mm.
my car. I
Mm.
watched my car go away. All right, let's just keep
Yes.
moving.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And that's, that's very interesting. I was speaking with someone this morning about something very similar to what we're talking about. And I shared with her after prayer, I said, hey, I want you, and it's just something that I need you to understand. We have to learn how to walk in it before we see
Come on now.
it. Right?
Yes.
And so I think I'm going to put this out here, y'all, for those of you all who are readers, subscribers, listeners, and viewers. When I met Ramon a couple of years ago, you were walking in it. You were walking and existing and exuding and smiling and shaking hands and sending emails and invites for those of us who were new to your aura and your space. And you were saying, welcome, come sit at my table with me. Right. And let's commune and have coffee in a virtual sense. Right. And so what I'm also hearing from you saying, outside of the car and losing the tree on the house and so forth, is walk in it anyway. Be that anyway, instead of looking at the negative side of things. Yes. Right? Is that what I'm hearing? You're
hearing it. And that is the game-changing difference. Yeah. Because it's easy, Paulette, when you open your bank account and there's $10 million in it. We can all rejoice in that. That's easy.
Come on now.
Hello. Yeah, even you clap your hands like, hello, did it happen? Let me refresh my screen.
Yeah. Right.
But it is the mindset part when things don't go so well. And you don't want to be quote unquote Pollyanna, the younger generation that means you don't want to be pie in the sky and, oh my God, everything's perfect. There's a reality. There's a reality to that. But I do think that is the game-changing difference of the names we know, the Kobe's and LeBrons and Jordans and whoever else you want to pick of the day, Simone Biles of the world, whatever you want to pick. Right. When there's trauma, when there's determination, well, we're having this discussion right now. Something goes wrong with the line. That's a first world problem, right? We're not in other parts of the world I won't mention, but other parts of the world where there's war and real issues happening. But that's still where you could determine, okay, this happened. It's not good. It sucks. I lost money. I'm embarrassed. Whatever happened, let me move forward. I'll give you an example. Somebody recently wanted me to help them do some podcasting and things and be a host and do what we do, right?
Right.
And I think you know me well enough. I'm a decent person, honorable. I respectfully get back to people. Yes. You know that. Mm-hmm. Their producers' emails came to me and they all went to spam for days.
Oh.
The head person, like the person who's over the whole thing. Ramon, nice guy. This is a red flag. You're not in. Bye. I was a bit crushed because I know I'm Ramon Ray. I don't get
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
But the relationship was over. So my point in that, I said, okay, what to do? Maybe it wasn't meant to be, but I hope that's just reinforcing that example.
Absolutely.
Things are going to happen. And this doesn't mean it doesn't sting, doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, doesn't mean you're not in debt, doesn't mean your business doesn't fail, doesn't mean you don't have relationship problems with your parents or your kids or whatever happens.
Yeah.
But you still got to keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
You still got to.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Absolutely. And see, I love that. And so I think hearing this is necessary for so many in this season. And we can say that this is the final four. This is the final countdown. I like to say that it's a beautiful setup for Q1 and into the new year. But I want to pivot away from that just a little bit. And you wrote a book, sir. And let's talk about that book, shall we? What is the name of the book?
Sure.
Because I want to make sure I get that
Actually,
right.
The name of the book is Celebrity CEO, and it's all about personal branding, how entrepreneurs and small business owners can build their personal brands.
Yeah. So Celebrity CEO, what's the abridged version of what that book is about? And why should I pick that up and say, you know what? Gotta have this in my life.
Just yesterday, in fact, as we speak, I posted something on LinkedIn so relevant to your question.
Yeah.
In the world of where there's OTT, over the top, different channels beyond the CNBC, CBS, where Dr. Paulette has a show, I have a show, there's good stuff and or noise in the bigger sense. I'm in the noise too, meaning noise and everything all around. Where there's the Olympics happening, inaugurations happening, this, all this stuff.
Yeah.
There is no better time, Dr. Paulette, than each of us individually who choose, this doesn't mean Facebook ads don't work and all that, who choose to build our own personal brands, to be our own entities, to have our own followings, to be our own mini publishers. I'm not talking about like Brownstone Worldwide Studios. I'm talking about Jenny, who's a cupcake maker. She needs to be a publisher of her little cupcake retail store.
Right.
There's no more opportunity for the production of content. So Celebrity CEO is that aspect. The summary of it is, are you firing across as many cylinders as you can, reaching people in as many channels as you can, giving more or less a consistent message so that when they need you or at least think of you or the problem you solve, your name comes to mind. That is the abridged version.
I love that. And so, again, remember in our green room time, I talked about how, of course, I said, okay, well, I know I'm going to be interviewing Ramon Ray. Let me do some more research, right?
Oh boy, let's see what came up.
Listen, you're everywhere. Articles and podcasts and interviews and stages and so forth. And so to your point, you have created exactly what you've written about.
Yes.
And I absolutely see that. And so how is it that we have so many people like the cupcake lady, and she should be the celebrity CEO of her organization? Or how can folks who are afraid of the camera, do we need to become unafraid? How do I, who I'm not comfortable with how I look or XYZ, how do I become this celebrity CEO? What do I do? I'm stuck. And every time I look at the camera, I shake, or I don't know how to go out here and meet these people and do what I need to do. Ramon, help me.
3 things I'll say. I think it'll be 3.
Okay.
One is the least, the least common denominator, or the one that's the least one is, meaning what I'm trying to get to, don't do it. This, generally speaking, may not be for you. I'm talking about through the lens that I know. There's a million other ways to build a business, because we're talking about business right now. So maybe it's not for you. Full disclosure to those that are like that, that's fine. But before I lose your attention, come back.
We're here.
If you choose to be in that journey, the second level, and I have 3, the second level, then maybe you're not as engaging as it were as Dr. Paulette and Ramon, because I'm getting to that 3rd level. There's a bit of something you got to have. But I know real estate agents, all they do, wake up, hey, my name is Marcus, go another block in Brooklyn or Atlanta or San Diego again. You're walking with me as I scout houses. Come on with me. Hey, here's a house. This is called a blah, blah, blah shingle double X 502 door hinge
Right.
thingamajiggy. And
Yeah.
when you see this on your door, you can get 10% off, whatever the gem is. You just consistently show up, do that.
Mm,
You will be the celebrity CEO of your industry. So that's level 2, Paulette, if that makes sense
yeah.
what I'm saying.
It
Just
does.
good. You don't have to have any special cachet, be humorous, just be you and add value and form.
Yes.
Now, the third level is this is where
Mhm,
God's blessed me, yes, with some skill and talent, I think.
mhm,
And
mhm.
Dr. Paulette, we're a bit more professional in it, a bougie in it. You know, we
Yeah.
have our we got our streams, our lower thirds, our teams, we edit.
Mhm.
And I do encourage people to consider that transcripts and summaries and using AI, meaning going to the cupcake lady
Yeah.
or to the small law firm where
Yeah.
you're sharing information on a platform like we're
Mhm,
doing, and then
mhm.
you edit it a bit more and do it.
Yeah.
So take that third level or second level, which are cousins, very similar, just one
Mhm.
is a bit
Very, very.
more polished than the other.
Mhm.
And you and I still, Dr. Paulette, as you know,
Yeah.
I still can go unpolished. I still unvarnished post
Mhm,
or
mhm.
decide I'm not going to do any of it.
Mm. And that's really on the individual and the business itself.
That's right.
But I you got to say in this day and age in 2024 as opposed to, let's say, for instance, when I graduated from college,
Mm-hmm.
19 okay, so yeah. Back then it was different. You started a business
Yep.
and you prayed that you would be found. I'm going to give you an example. I'm from the
Mhm.
entertainment industry.
Okay.
And in being in the entertainment industry, one of the things that I've learned is back then you hoped someone would
Mhm.
find you. You hoped that if you sent your DAT tape or your
Yes.
recording to someone at in an A&R department
Mhm.
that they would find you in the muck and the mire of the millions of other tapes and DATs that they got.
Right.
But what's different now in this space is using the techniques that you talk about in your book. Anyone can create their own celebrity
That's right.
with and completely bypass an A&R department.
Exactly right. That's
I
exactly right.
love
And there's
Yeah,
millions of Dr. Paulettes,
yeah,
millions
yeah.
of Ramones. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'm not trying to. I had in the past looking at Alex Harmozy, Seth
Yeah.
Godin, Tony Robbins,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
forebearers of things, and God bless them. Cody Sanchez's
Right.
millions of followers they have. But as
Yeah.
you said, Dr. Paulette, you just said it. Anybody at any time can pick up the microphone or the
Mm-hmm.
camera or
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
keyboard and
Yep.
start to educate and serve. And then over time, you got to give it
Mm-hmm.
a few months, weeks, whatever the thing is, and being consistent, you
Mm-hmm.
can have your own following and be the celebrity CEO of your industry.
Of your industry and not and what I love about that, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mm.
I understand that there's an 80-20 rule. And so in that, does that first of all, can you explain that? I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Mhm.
But then also in that, when we're talking about being a celebrity CEO and creating that, you don't have to have all of the eyeballs.
That's exactly right. You take a look at again, I'll call out another name, Alex Hermosi. People don't
Okay.
know him. He had a book about leads or something, millions of
Yep.
readers,
Mm-hmm.
famous. I can call them out or take your pick. Anybody, what's a beautiful queen, bushy hair. She has a book. She's vegan. I forgot
Oh
her name.
gosh, what is her name? I know who you're talking about, and
Yeah,
it'll come to
but
me.
so meaning you can mention number, take Oprah, I'll use her. We all know
Yep.
millions of followers. I
Yep.
get it. Those are great
Mm-hmm.
people who've been there,
Yep.
done that, and God bless them.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to us normal people,
Mm-hmm.
me
Yeah.
included,
Yeah.
as you said, Dr. Paulette, you don't have, I'm taking a harder industry. Let's say you're the author of a book on leadership. There's only one, Jim Maxwell, only
Right.
one. He has
Right.
a lock, and even then he'll tell you probably himself, there's other competitors. So my point is, long answer, that is correct. You may only need to reach 10,000 people,
Mm-hmm.
50,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that doable? Your email
Oh,
list may have an
absolutely.
80% open rate and
Mm-hmm.
have 6,000 people on the email list.
Yeah.
Those numbers are very doable.
Yeah. They really are. Absolutely. And so you don't have to have, because, and here's something else. When you're really getting granular, you can reach the people that not only want the cupcake, they want the tools to make the cupcake. They want the cupcake pans and they want the apron and the icing and all of the cute little things that come with it, if you can get granular like that. And that's where that sweet spot is for your business, I would say.
And Dr. Pilato, add the other thing I'll add to it, and I know you'll
Yeah.
agree, is they want you, as you were so kind as to give me
Come on.
way too many flowers, Dr. Paulette, before we went live. Let's
Well
not
earned,
forget
sir.
that.
Yeah.
NBC, we don't know who owns it, who heads programming.
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks, that one we may know. But, you know, we don't, all these big brands, we don't know, we don't care. Longer safe for good. But the opportunity for us small businesses, me
Yeah.
included,
Yeah.
that the only other thing to add to what you just said, which is so good, they want to support you. They want Ramona, not support like charity, but it's like, oh, it's
Right.
Melissa. Melissa smiles. She knows my name. Her staff
Mm-hmm.
greet me. I feel when
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Paulette comes in, they get a, hey, Dr. Paulette, you want
Yeah.
cherry
Yeah.
on it again and
Yeah.
whatever you put in it? That's what we need to do.
That's all you need to do. I love that. See, come on. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm already feeling enlightened and encouraged, because now we've talked about the celebrity CEO. We've talked about what are we going to do? It's Q4 and things are different, but so many other variables are a part of this as well. We have weather changes, global warming. We've got the presidential election. We've got things that are happening around the world, which I'm not going to talk about either. Right. And so our focus can be so diluted in everything that's happening that we're missing the opportunities that are right before us as well, right? So when we're talking about opportunities that are right before us, I want to talk about something that you actually did yourself. And you said, and I'm just paraphrasing because I don't know, I'm not in your brain, but I watched you create an entire awards ceremony for your peers. Let's talk about that. Number one, what made you wake up one morning and say, I want to do that? I want to prepare a table for all of these amazing entrepreneurs who are serving their communities and honor them on a stage. What was that like? Let's talk about the struggle in that, because I know that there was. See, everybody wants to talk about the pretty. I want to know how that felt when you were dealing with that, and what made you wake up, say, I'm going to do it, start moving in it, the hiccups that you were willing to share, and when are you doing another one? I want to see this, because I already know you're going to pack a bigger house.
Dr. Paulette, there are certain topics that always cause me deep reflection. And one of the topics is the aspect of being the underdog and not being picked. It always grabs me every time. So here's the story, since you asked. And it's not a new story. I've done this my whole life-ish. One, the negative part of the challenge part, there's success coming, but just so you know, I maxed my credit cards. I didn't make any money. It was a huge burden. I'll use that word intentionally. So that's one. And we can unpack exactly what it was. But I had a big event, New York City, 400 people, did awards, just like you'd see on TV, and people were exactly happy. Just the summary to those who don't know. So that's the one part of it. But why am I tearing up? Point number two, the gem, Dr. Paulette, that people don't understand. You don't have to wait to be picked.
Come on.
People, and even things our peers are doing, things you may do or I would do, right? You don't have to wait for to be picked. You know, there's the grant, there's the award, there's the Dr. Paulette's waiting, pick me for the best of, Ramon's waiting, pick me.
Yeah.
I am tired of waiting to be picked. Now, I do want to be picked. You've picked me to honored me. Thank you. But my point is, it continues. I'm saying this in a good way. People, make your own high quality stuff and anoint yourself and or anoint your friends, build your own experience. So that's lesson number 2.
Yes.
Lesson number 3. So why I did it. was because of that. There's many awards. I'll call them out. Inc. has their Inc. 5000.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a great thing.
Mhm.
U.S. Chamber of Commerce has their
Mhm.
top 100 entrepreneurs. There's
Yeah.
many great. I applaud my colleagues and peers and possibly you and others who are doing amazing.
Mhm.
I said I want to do my own.
Right.
Nobody can tell me who I can pick, who I can't pick, who I can have.
Yeah.
I'm the judge, jury, and freaking
Come
executioner.
on. I love that.
So I did it for two reasons. In a selfish way, and this is a gem too. Note this, and I know you're listening, Dr. Paulette, but others here, note this, people.
Yes.
Is I did it partly selfish because when you do awards and things like this, it puts you at the top. And as you asked me, Ramon, when are you going to do it again? The producer of the Emmy Award, everybody knows him or her. Essence Awards, all these things. When I did my event in 2006, never before had a small business, a regular person, done a small business conference with 400 people. It was always the bigger publishers.
Yeah.
So I think I'll stop there because now I'm going on and on. But the point is that was why. So awards is a way to recognize people, and we all want to be recognized.
Absolutely.
I do. Right? It's how we all want to, oh my God, somebody recognize me. And so you can play on that as well by having your own. The top. Going back to another silly example, Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I'm doing intentionally something weird. Nathan's hot dog eating. Do you think that the gentleman, the Caucasian gentleman, I say they're honorably, I forgot his, Johnny or Jimmy, whatever, and the Japanese guy, they love it. It's just making up a hot dogs eating contest.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. And that's why you did it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. So you chose you. And in that,
that's a key word, though. Say that again. And everybody, please say that again.
You chose you.
Yes.
Wow.
And everybody has that opportunity. Everybody, Dr. Paulette.
That is amazing. I love your perspective on that, because in choosing you, so many other people have been celebrated. So many other people have been inspired.
That's right.
That is amazing. And I love how you walk in that. And you're fearless, even from the outside. You're fearless, even though you have your moments, right?
Yes.
But you have stepped out and you said, I choose me.
That's right.
I pick me.
That's right.
Not, no, please pick me. I pick me. And look at you, Black Enterprise. Like when I was like, he's on Black Enterprise. USA Today? What? Wait a minute. So let's talk about that.
Yes.
So when you made a decision, hey, I'm going to take my podcast and I am going to take it to USA Today or Black Enterprise, how and what was going through your mind at the time? Or was this a part of your plan as a part of creating your own celebrity in what it is that you do?
I think, Dr. Paulette, to be clear to all, luck, consistency, and excellence.
Come on. That part.
I'm tired of crying. I need to be sponsored by Kleenex.
Every time someone comes to this stage, they cry. Like, you'd be surprised.
You ask amazing questions and you pull out from our hearts. This is from our hearts. So what did I say? Luck, consistency, and excellence go hand in hand. So going back to the story of, I have a show called The Rundown with Ramon.
Yes.
Made it up. And my dream, I have a few. One dream is I want to be with the presidential counter-assault sniper team and counter-assault team who protect the president. That's one dream I have. Two, I want to go camping for 2 days in the woods, grime. I want to hunt and all that stuff for 2 days. Never did it in my life. So that's one thing. Third thing, though, I wanted my own show. I keep manifesting, and I think by now I don't have to manifest anymore because somebody said it to me, but I want to be the Steve Harvey and or Kevin Hart of small business. And why I say them? Entertainment, a little bit of humor and fun, and just speaking my mind, whatever I want to speak. So to be clear, that's where I'm going and what I want to do. So I started the podcast, Rundown with Ramon. I started going live. I didn't ask for this. USA Today came to me. And how USA Today came to me, though, because somebody was watching me and a relationship that I had met in an earlier experience, and they were at an event I had. So hence I have to give a little bit of luck, as it were, but it's not just luck because it wasn't random. You keep consistent, as I said, number two, and you're excellent at it, good things will happen. So that's number one. And then regarding Black Enterprise and other opportunities that are coming, now that you're showing up and doing it, people notice. Dr. Paulette, I know you know, people are hungry for excellence.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And I would even add another type of excellence, but I want to
Come
keep
on
this
with it. It's
broad.
all
And there,
right. Yeah, I do. I
yes.
do. Mhm.
But people looking for excellence. So when they see, especially when they can niche that excellence, oh,
Yes.
green M&M that's excellent. Wow. And you know what? Let me not even run from. Let me say it. I only say that because that's my thing. I'm more generalist,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
will say it right now. Black excellence. That's not
Black
my, as you
excellence.
know,
There
my
we go.
mandate, my mission. That's not how I show up directly.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I will say that, especially for this podcast and many, or this show and many of
Absolutely.
your listeners, I think in a way it's something that in a world that's going niche and that's going different, and people and good people want to be diversified, but they still want excellence. So
Yes,
when they're
they
like,
do.
oh, he's just as good as everybody else. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
come and do our
Yeah.
show. So you
Yes.
can play that a little bit, play
Yep.
that to
Uh-huh.
your benefit.
And you're so right in that. And it's the same thing with Brownstone Worldwide. Like I never considered it to be just that.
Yes.
That's why we say urban professionals, right?
Yes.
Because that encompasses so many folks, right?
Mhm.
Urban professionals who want to live the brownstone lifestyle, which
That's right.
encompasses a lot of things. And so within that, like you said, you have to consistently remember the one thing. And let's go here and I want to be honest and open about this part.
Sure.
People don't expect excellence
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it like that because I don't want to go down that race rabbit
Sure.
hole, but it's not
Not today on this show.
not today, but it's not expected. And so
Absolutely.
when you get it and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
let me tune in again. And
Yes.
and then I'm inspired and I'm getting tidbits that I can use from the tips and the topics and the talk that is happening on Ramon's show or on Brownstone's Best or in Brownstone Living magazine.
That's right.
You said something that is so paramount. And I must say that when I first started the magazine, I felt okay. And then all of a sudden, somebody reached out and said, you know what? We really want to step in and we want to support the branding and how it's starting to look. And like you said, when you are consistent and you keep showing up, people see that.
That's right. That's
They
exactly
really
right.
do. And it was mind-blowing to me. And it was a gift as well in that, it was what I have been praying for and trusting for, because again, when you are given a vision, and we're getting ready to talk about that here in just a second, when you are given a vision, sometimes you have no idea
No.
what or how, and things just start showing up for you along the way as long as you continue to keep walking. And so the branding opportunity came along and said, hey, we really want to help you to help develop out the cover and the inside. And it's become, honestly, almost like a piece of art that you can put on a coffee table, right? And that was where I wanted to go with it. And so to your point, now the phone calls are starting. They're ever
Come
so
on
slow.
now.
But now I'm learning how to walk in that. And so to your point, when you're talking about excellence, no matter who you are, always give your best. If you say you're going to do it and do it well. Don't half it, because they can half you or not at all.
That's exactly right.
So there you go. I just definitely wanted to share that. Now, I'm curious. Let's talk about your faith walk.
Sure.
This is an absolute faith walk that you're on.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because I call this the year of the stretch. It started with interviews that I've had with amazing individuals like Nikki Klug and Tremaine Wills and Dr. Michelle Josie and Lamar Tyler of Traffic Sales and Profits. Shout out to him. And so many other amazing people like J.R. Bird and so forth. Everyone is talking about this year of the stretch. Have you found yourself being stretched this year in your faith, in believing for the vision that keeps you up at night, that won't let you rest, that calls you over the corner in the back behind your ear, and it says, there's another idea, Ramon. Let's go with it. And it's almost like these little cherubs that are excited for this next phase of your life. And you're like, now, wait a minute now, you're in the spirit. I'm in this physical form. And how you keep telling me what am I, what? So in your walk, how do you and what do you continue to do to push forward as you are being given these amazing, beautiful downloads of the next phase of Circle of Genius, Circle of CEO, Zone of Genius, and just the rundown itself?
Yes.
What are you doing? I mean, it's a challenge, I'm sure, because you could go clock back in on somebody's job.
Come on.
Here you are. Come on now. Let's just put it out here on the table. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, one question I want to ask you, Dr. Paulette, first. Is this a business podcast or are we in church? I was confused a little bit. Can you just remind me? I forgot what you said about an hour ago, but can you remind me where we're at again?
So this happens every single time, because you cannot have one without the other.
Yes.
Right? Now you can, but I have found that many who have sat down with me and we have discussed, we need to get granular and talk about the truths behind building and growing, because it's not just a step 1, step 2, step 3, is it? It's how do I do this? And I need to step back and I need to, it's somebody out there I'm praying to, or somebody that I'm trusting in that's got me in this space. And I need to hear the truth from people who are making it happen, and going forward with the vision that keeps them up at night. And it's important for us to talk about that at Brownstone's Best Business Review, because I'm tired of hearing people lie to us.
Come on.
I am. And I just want to hear the truth from the people that are here and making it happen, who are walking through step by step and who are looking at their bank account for the business and going, my payroll is due Friday. My team needs to be paid.
Few things I would say to this, Paulette, and again, so glad to be here. And I think I'll answer the question about faith, not so much my faith in God and faith being a Christian, which I am. Those who are not, no problem. But I won't answer it in that way. I could, happy to. But I think I'll answer it faith in the general question of pushing forward. And here's what I do. Here's for me. And it's very businessy. Let's take, I'll use myself as an example. I prefer to use other examples, Dr. Paulette. Let's take a person who's a landscaper.
Okay.
Because I like to use weird things that are different so people know this works for any context.
Yeah.
Are there people that have, whether expensive or not, but homes, nice homes? Are there people? Yes. Great.
Yeah.
Do they have lawns and blah, 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 blah? Yes.
Yeah.
Do most or some of those people not want to do it themselves? Yes. If that is the case, does that mean they're hiring somebody? Yes. And if that is the case, that means now it's your job to find that person, and a little bit of luck, but pricing and all the business things come in. So to me, that's my best answer for the aspect of faith and keep going. And my example is a professional speaker, for example. Are there big, or they can be small, but are there events that want to hire speakers? Yes. Are there other people being on those stages being paid? Yes. So that means it's my job to make the match. And if it doesn't happen, I'm doing something wrong, and or a little bit of luck. There's only so much time in a day and the market's big. So I hope that helps by what keeps me going forward. Some days, like I posted in our mutual group, right? Do I want to get a job? Do I want to call Dr. Paulette? Dr. Paulette, you pay me $250,000 a year, I will be your valet. Done. Right. Sometimes I wish, and she'll turn around, Ramon. I don't know if we're going to do it for that amount, but no. But my point being is that, yes, so that's what keeps me going on. I know I have something. I know there's a market that wants to do it. And if I keep pushing forward, that goodness will come. Now, having said that, while we're in the journey, Psalm 23, he maketh the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Sometimes you're going to have to walk in darkness, walk where it's difficult, walk in a challenge, max credit cards, pull that line of credit, borrow money. But be careful. Don't do that too crazy because you don't want to go bankrupt and ruin yourself. But there are seasons for that. I'll give one example. People ask me, somebody who I work with right now, pretty well-known thought leader, Ramon, how did you get to work with him and all that? I'll never forget the first opportunity I had. He was coming out with a new book. He said, if you buy 400 copies of my book, I'll show up. I put it on my credit card.
Wow.
Didn't have the money.
Wow.
So I hope that's helpful to somebody out there. It's not all where, oh, I just took the money. No. How much risk do you want to take? And Dr. Paulette, that's one separate tip, answering your question, but separate note if it's helpful for somebody. I am a high risk taker. Sometimes it can hurt me because I've had times of high debt, and that's not good. And we can probably have a finance person or you talk to somebody about that later. It's not my expertise. I can, but I know the negative side. But the good side of it is, since I'm willing to take risk more on the when it works well, I will beat the other person every time. Every time. Yeah. I got pictures with Ivanka Trump. They said, don't go past the red line. Who went past the red line? Me. Pictures of Colin Powell, back in the day, it's raining outside. Just don't move your hands when you want to talk to them. Don't move your hands quick. Just ask the question. I'm there. So you can't, not you, but you can risk all day. Like, who can get the photograph or whatever with Michael Jordan, what I'm making it up, but they said, don't go into the court. What's the most that's going to happen? They're going to find me. I'm going to the court.
I'm going. Yes.
So that's how I roll.
You are amazing. I promise you, you are amazing. This is truly a blessing. I like I said, and like you said, ooh, everyone asks that question. Are we in church? Am I okay? Why am I crying? I don't know why I have. It's just this space, right, where I think it's important for us to have honest conversation about business and the fact that no matter what you believe or what your faith is, you better believe in yourself if nothing else in this world of being in business. And so I think that I would love to, if you have time, one last question that I always ask every business owner who sits in this virtual chair. What's the good, the bad, and the ugly? And what words of encouragement would you say to someone who is struggling right now in their business?
I love that. Good, bad, and ugly. I think the ugly part is figuring it out, feeling alone until you find a community that can support you. That's the ugly, just the feeling of aloneness and feeling you're the only one until you realize you're not. So I think that's the biggest ugly part, figuring it out until the flywheel happens. That's one. That's the ugly. The bad for me, and I think that's an individual journey, is I think the things that we don't like about ourselves. As I told you, I can spend money quickly. Other people, they're bad if they don't spend money enough. So for me, it's a money issue. Numbers is just not my thing. I'm a marketer. I can sell anything to anybody, anytime. But everybody has a strength. So me, that the bad in my journey, numbers and being a little impulsive, but it's also my best asset too. And I think the good is just knowing that when you, notwithstanding the money, but when you do what you love, when I'm up at 6 a.m. and sitting here preparing for the rundown with Ramon, I love it.
Yes. I know the feeling all too well.
So that's the good, bad, and ugly. And my motivation to all, my tips to all, I think, is for business owners, keep on doing what you're doing. Get advice, listen to others. And it's a journey of figuring it out. And there's no shame in pivoting and pausing, etc. So that's one. And I think to all of us, forgive. Forgive.
So good. That's good. Come on, y'all. Where's my applause? Listen, what?
You can put in the soundtrack.
Like this was amazing as always.
Thank you, Dr.
I'd love to have you join us. And hopefully you'll return to the Brownstone.
You know it.
Yeah. So, and we're going to do some physical stuff too. Listen.
Ooh, that'd be great.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Can't wait for that. But listen, I want you guys to know where you can find the one and only Ramon Ray at Zone of Genius. All you have to do is just Google the name Ramon Ray, and he is absolutely going to come up. You can find him all over the place, of course, at USA Today with the show, The Morning, what is it, The Rundown?
The Rundown with Ramon on USA Today.
The Rundown with Ramon Ray, and then also on Black Enterprise as well. I want to make sure that you guys also know that you can find Ramon Ray where? On the cover, once again, of Brownstone Living magazine. He is just an amazing inspiration to so many people. And once again, whether you know it or not, you inspire me and so many, many others. So listen, you guys, I know we are out of time, but most definitely head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and get your fix of daily news and inspiration that you can use, including lifestyle tips, topics, and talk. Don't forget, it is, by the time you see this, Prime Day. So we'll be sharing some information on daily deals with you as well. Don't forget to get your digital copy of Brownstone Living magazine at brownstoneworldwide.com, and also Cityscape Radio, where you can listen to this podcast and others from the people in the neighborhood. Do you have any final words for us today, sir?
Be thankful, and wake up every day seeking to make an impact in the life of somebody else.
I love it. And I don't have anything else. I can't top that. This has been amazing. I have been inspired. I have been moved. Listen, get ready to get your issue. It's a digital copy, and you can also get the physical copy as well of Brownstone Living magazine, available on Friday. What is that? 10th, 11th? I think the 11th? The 11th. Let's go ahead and get it ready. Okay. All right. We'll see you in these internet streets. Thanks for joining us today.